Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night, where tonight we're coming to you live and exclusive on Top Split TV for Sunday Night Lights Season 27, Round 5 from the Charlotte Roval. I'm your host, Alex McKellar, and joining me, as always, is the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Stein. How's it, Corey? 5,300 and something strength of field. We're back, baby. Get that in here. Welcome aboard, mate, and big night of racing ahead of us tonight, of course.
Absolutely, Alex. And Charlotte Roval, of course, one of the weirder kind of setups for tracks. A couple of chicanes there that'll always cause a little bit of drama, and a technical little infield section that is mostly flat out. It should be a great race here for Easter Sunday. Happy Easter to everyone out there. I'm looking forward to some action tonight, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy Easter, everyone. Great way to round out, well, the 3/4 of the long weekend, of course, here with a big night of Skippy action ahead of us. Just running through our 19-car field tonight. We start at the top with Naoya Nagai. Nagai's son, number one, and often number one in quali, so watch out for him at least in the first part of the session. Sam, the Cowboy Devantia. Speedy Snails driver, of course. He joins us again tonight. He's car number 2, just ahead of Skippy Community Rep and Miles Ahead Racing. Great play on words. Nothing like a good dad joke. Adam Miles there's car number 3. Car number 4, someone we haven't seen in a very long time for Ori's racing team, Jose Soria. Of course, very super fast in a skip. Christian Perez just taking the circuit now, coming out for his qualifying laps. Current season champion for official and Sunday Night Lights from last season. Current reigning champion for Astro Racing Team. Just ahead of Adrian Farinas Rodriguez, an Iberian driver that we haven't seen for a while. An Italian driver behind him in car number 7, Giuseppe Tellini. Just ahead of our second Japanese driver in the field, Hikaru Sasaki. Sasaki-san joins us car number 8. Corey Lean, second ANZ driver in the field at car number 10, just ahead of McFlabby Racing's Brett McBurney. Rounding out your top 10, Corey.
That's right, Alex. Coming in as our 11th play car is Xavier Sanchez from Iberia. And he's usually one of our front-running contenders. We've got Loris Amadio from Italy. I haven't seen that name for a little bit, Alex. Excited to see Loris back. Got Vasco Soroski. And only 2 clowns spotting them tonight, so not quite a shutter, but we're getting pretty close to it from the Oz NZ Club as the 13th plated car. Got Nick Vaughan Roberts from UK and I as the 14th plated car. Great to see Nick back in action, and he will definitely be towards the front. We've got Hiroki Shoda from the Japan Club from the 15th plated car. The 16th plated car is Kevin Budgeon from UK and I. Great to see Kevin back in action. We've got Shinji Otsu from Japan in the 17th plated car. I believe he might be making his debut here tonight, Alex. I don't think I've seen his name before. And Neil Gardner wrapping up the field, just sneaking in with a 42.72 I rating, Alex, as our 18th plated car here tonight from the Oz NZ Club.
Yeah, Neil, of course, he said a Discord, he's a bit nervous, sneaking in his car 18 of 18 and what looks to be the classic McLaren livery. But look, 5,300, nearly 5,400 strength of field as the times start coming in for their first laps. And already we're in the mid-30s for their first quali lap. So you can imagine those who've done any Skippy racing this week, that is lightning fast. But if it goes to mean anything, car number 14, Nick Vaughan Roberts, he won the thing last week in a really tough race at Belle Isle, or might have just picked up a 1x there on the exit of turn 3 there, or should I say, no, turn 4 it was. Hopefully not, and he's continuing on, but that just goes to show you what it's like in this sort of field, Corey. Vaughan Roberts is 4,500, just under 4,600, car 14 in this, and yet he took it out last week, so anyone can win it, dead set.
Oh, absolutely, Alex. And we have some of the tightest racing fields that you could gather for a Skippy race. And you just instantly know, as soon as you jump into this race, the intensity steps up tenfold. And these guys will be pushing every single little limit they can. It's very easy to get a 1x around this track. It's also very easy to just mess up and end up in one of the various walls around the track, or hit the turtle wrong and go for a bit of a flight. these guys are going to have to be really aggressive, but also be a little bit careful, especially around those turtles.
Oh, Soria, absolutely. Soria has just put it on pole provisionally. Of course, Perez has still got half a lap to go. Devantia, the cowboy, crossing the line. What's he done? Only good enough for P2 at this stage. Sasaki now pulling up. He's done his laps. Who we got left? Perez is still on a lap. Where's Nagai? He's done his laps. The king of quali only able to leave it in P8. Holy dooly. McBurney for McFlabby Racing. He's chucked it in the top 5 to be 2 ANZ drivers in the top half of the field. Adam Miles was all over last race. He finished second, but he's given up. Look at that. That's his second lap, and he's just, he's not setting a time with that one. I'm just looking who else is left. Perez and Lean. Corey Lean is in the field, but Perez is the closest to finishing his lap. He's currently in P3, and you can make, it depends on how good his first lap, and it was pretty good, but you can make half a second. But I reckon he's got 3/10 in him as he comes into the final chicane at 15, 16, through 17. Kisses a lot. Lords is his Skippy through the final chicane. What's he got for us? Nothing, says the scorer. Corey Lean now finishing his lap. Where's the ANZ driver put it? He's in 10th to begin with, jumps up inside the top 10. Look at that, Corey. Your namesake gives us 3 ANZ drivers in the top 10. Great way to start this one.
Oh, absolutely, Alex. It goes to show that the Oz and Z competitors aren't going to just roll over and let the internationals take it in what is essentially our strength of field race. But, it's pretty much become the world strength of field race because we have the highest softs on record. And, it's great to see the Oz and Z contingent doing well, especially Sam Devantia putting it up on the front row, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Really pleased to see the cowboy up there. Very good to see him leading the way for the ANZ boys out there tonight. And, of course, his car number 2 in here, Soria, is a real chance at driving away from this field despite the quality in there. Although you've got, similarly to 3 ANZ drivers, you've got 3 Spanish drivers, the Spanish Armada in there as well to mix things up. Soria on front, Perez on the second row, splitting the ANZ charge in Sam Devantia for Speedy Snails. But, it could be an interesting one there as we got about 30 seconds before the clock ticks down, Corey. 3 ANZ drivers in the top 10, 3 Spaniards, a UK&I, Japanese driver and a Welshman. Fairly eclectic and international mix there to start this one off.
Well, as I said, Alex, this has really become such an international kind of a race that, it's really good to see some of the names that come through here. We've even had the likes of Benny Simonson come in here, an accredited real world race car driver who, absolutely, goes ballistic in real life and on iRacing. So, the field that we gather here is definitely something special.
Yeah, absolutely. As the clock ticks over, and we might just check out our grid for the big one here tonight, round 5. From Charlotte Road, we've got Jose Soria taking out with a 1:30.2. Great time. Speedy Snails driver Sam Devantia, 2/10 behind starting, joining him on the front row. Christian Perez for Astro Team Racing out of 3 on the grid. Adam Miles for Miles Ahead Racing out of 4th. Brett McBurney for McFlabby Racing starts 5th tonight, just ahead of the Spaniard Xavier Sanchez in 6th. Corey Lean for ANZ out of 7th tonight. Hikaru Sasaki, who has got some pace, leading Japanese driver tonight off the grid starting from 8th. Nick Vaughan Roberts, last week's winner for Two Fools Racing. The lone fool in the race tonight starts from 9th. Now in a guy, typically, you swap the 0 and the 1 there and you get poles, which is where we normally see him. Tonight, nearly half a second off pace starting from 10th. 11th off the grid tonight for Wave Italy Racing is Giuseppe Tellini, just ahead of Team Clowns, Vasco Soroski out of 12th. 13th off the grid tonight will be Kevin Budgeon for Nippy Racing. 14th sees Loris Amadio, the other Wave Italy Racing team driver, starting alongside him. 15th tonight, Hiroyuki Shorda from the Guy Racing School, just ahead of his compatriot in 16th, Shinichi Otsu. Neil Gardner, the ANZ driver, starts from 17th. Just ahead of our final qualifier here tonight, not setting a time in Adrian Rodriguez, somewhat surprisingly, Corey, given car number 6, and he's got a fair bit of work to do, though I'm not sure that he has actually taken the grid here or actually set a lap at all, to be honest. But I guess we'll see how he goes from there. Is he even joined the server?
I do believe he is in the server, Alex, and I'm not sure why he didn't set a time. It's a little bit weird. It looks like he might just be wanting to chill out and start from the pits. Oh no, he's on the grid now. We got everyone on the grid, so we're gonna start getting ready to race here as the red lights mean rev. And the green lights mean go. We're underway here for round number 5 of season 27 of Sunday Night Lights from the Charlotte Roval. And immediately, Jose Sora moves over to the right side of the track to defend his lead going into turn 1, Alex.
Yeah, as mostly clean line of stern racing here. Deep in the pack, though, we've got a bit of side-by-siders already. It looks like Rodriguez trying to make his way aggressively through. A little bit of hip and shoulder on the 15 there of Shorter as he goes by. I don't know about a casual start of this one, but he's certainly setting him on fire already. Asoria, Devantia and Perez look to lead this one through the infield now. Coming out through turn 7 and 8 now. Very challenging on cold tyres. Very easy for the rear to step out here. None of that so far in the front of our field, Corey, as they all get it done.
And now we enter what is the NASCAR Oval section as the drivers start to figure out where they're going to be drafting with other people and what kind of speed they can gather as they head towards the bus stop chicane. You already see defensive Go Sawyer into the bus stop for the first time. And it's still all fairly calm, collected racing, although a little bit of sounds like some people rubbing up against the barriers there on the exit of the bus stop. For now, everyone's still remaining line to stern. It's really hard to try and make a move around here unless you time it just right, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely, and don't be surprised we see a bit of interesting looking shapes and whatnot on the skips here tonight. The net code in the Skippy series at the moment is pretty real, as 2x2 in place as they go through turn 1. Nagai looking already, he's still in 10th position, hasn't gone anywhere, and I've often wondered as they're 2x2 behind him deeper in the pack. Swarovski trying to go side by side with Amadio this time, comes through the inside there at 4. Still side by side they go through the infield. This will be costing him plenty of time. It's no way. Look, you've got to move forward at some point, I suppose, but you've got to look after the race longer term as well. And I was just saying about Nagai as we jump back up to check in on our leaders. This time Perez all over the back of the Cowboy, moves to the outside, run the high line, shows the nose, but I think he's worried about Soria going away. Devantia holding the tight line. What's he going to do on the exit? Just lifts and lets Perez through and wants to sit back and fight, live to fight another day, so to speak. The two Spaniards now leading us away. I worry about Nagai without his pole position. We wonder if his Achilles heel has been the actual elbows out racing. He's going to have to show a bit of that tonight in addition to his one lap pace.
I saw in the chat earlier, Alex, that someone was saying that the guy wants to prove that he's not just the king of quali anymore, but he wants to prove that he's also the king of racing. And we'll see how he goes with it. He is currently sitting in 10th still. So he's got a little bit to prove here, staying where he started this race. So hopefully very shortly we'll see him start making his way through the field. We know that he's a cool, calm, collected character. And the guy 2.0 could always be looming just around the corner.
Well, dare I say, he needs to go to 2.1 because, you know, maybe I'm just wondering if the edge has come off the quali pace too. He hasn't been on pole for the last couple of weeks. And as you say, he's where he started so far this race. You know, he needs to start getting a wriggle on and move forward. Having said that, I watched the two races running into this and he was right up the front and in amongst the action. So I don't think it's a lack of pace. I think he really needs to get a wriggle on those just in front of him. Sanchez and Sasaki are having a go at it as they run through the first part of the oval section. Beautiful side-by-side stuff. Nagai, look, oh, is he going to make it through wide? He's following. No, his compatriots let him through. He's going, look, he is. He's moving forward. He must be listening to the broadcast. I don't know, but he's made at least one spot there on his compatriot as it gets a bit messy behind him. And now he's trying to get on the tail of Sanchez once again. He's made his first position, Corey. Hopefully the first of a few for his sake. But back up front, we've got Perez in between Soria, who's leading, and Devantia, who's in third. And Adam Miles patiently sitting in 4th, and just behind them the other ANZ driver in McBurney. Before there's about a 2-second gap, just over, to Corey Lean in 6th, who's got last week's winner Vaughan Roberts all over him.
There's definitely a little bit of chess going on here in this front pack at the moment, Alex. The front 5 who have been pulling away with it a little bit. But McBurney just making a mistake coming into turn 3, just locked up the brake a little bit, got a little bit sideways and unsettled. Be able to catch that back up with a draft, but he's definitely going to have to keep an eye on that if he wants to stick with this front pack.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. He needs to get a wriggle on if he needs to stay in touch. Mate, I had some... as he looks like there he clipped the wall through the section back onto the oval. But Corey Lean now, he's got Vaughan Roberts behind him. Xavier Sanchez, who's lost a couple of positions from where he started, is now looking to fight back if he can, but still Nagai. What's he got this time around? He's going to put the elbows out. Yeah, he pulls down to the low side of the entry into this back chicane here at 11 and 12. Yeah, Sanchez backs out. Nagai runs a little deep but pulls it up. Sanchez will have a bit of a run and comes out side by side. I don't know that he'll stay there, although the side drive's pretty powerful. As the 6 car, Farinas, dude, you got to be back on above that blue line. You cannot run down there and make positions. You have to come back on, and he's run the whole section there. Don't be too surprised, Mr. Farinas, if Mr. Nimcross Jr. gives you a call during the week. That's not how cricket's played at this circuit, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. I mean, it is cutting the track quite a bit, making the track a lot shorter. And I know in NASCAR you can get away with it because, it's not a yellow line rule situation. But when it comes to road racing around here, you got to respect the track limits. Don't respect the track limits, you're going to feel the wrath of Nimcross Jr. And when it comes to stuff like that, he's usually pretty right on it. And saying that, he is up, 6 positions from where he first started. So I think he might have been doing this quite a bit to gain some of those 6 positions, Alex.
Nah, it's this kind of... It could well be, mate, but it's this kind of racing side by side. Budgeon won't give that up easy. What's Farina got for him now this time? He's going to come straight down underneath him. Is he going to stay above the blue line? He is. There's actually a control line on the exit of the first chicane here, and it said that you need to be above that blue line before you hit that control line. And the guy running the line on the inside there, if he's there and you're inside him underneath it, he doesn't have to let you back on. But this time Rodriguez gets it done and gets it done cleanly and does it the right way, so well played. Meanwhile, we'll check in on our leaders up front. We've got Perez now made the move on Soria. We missed that while we were focusing down the midfield. But it is this front 5 beautifully riding the curbs. They've worked on it during the week, maybe adjusted the front suspension to cater to the big curves here. It'll slow you down a little bit on the straights, maybe affect how the car handles and rotates through the corners, but perhaps a necessity. A double-edged sword, if you like, here this week, Corey, because you really need to look after that front wing, lest you cost yourself even more speed down the big banked straights here at Charlotte Roval.
Another thing you have to worry about too, Alex, is the way that the car flights over those turtle curbs. If you hit those curbs just wrong, especially in that final chicane at turn 16, then you're not just going to mess up your run coming onto the main straight for the start-finish line, but you could also potentially end up in that outside wall, especially if you hit it hard enough. But here comes Jose now, looking for the move back on Perez to retake the lead in the oval section. He gets it done, and Perez now looking to maybe try and fight back into the bus stop. Thinks better of it, pulls back in behind Sawyer. And the battle for the lead here definitely starting to pick up in intensity a little bit, Alex.
Yeah, potentially. But you're right around the flight of those curbs, mate. The suspension lifting the front will absolutely make it run smoother. However, there's only so far you can push the friendship before the thing really bites back, and particularly through this curve, this last corner here at 17. If you've got the steering input wrong as the car lands, the nose on the front whips around to the inside of the circuit, and you can lose the rear quite easily, as well as a lot of time. But at the moment, these boys showing how it's done, as a 29.7 is the fastest lap by our leader Soria out front. Nick Vaughan Roberts and Corey Lean running, well, I'd say lonely a race, but they've got each other. Nagai now, he's moved up into P8. He's made the move on Sanchez, as we saw, and he's holding it. The question is, yeah, look, he was 7/10 faster than Lean last lap. 7/10, and the gap's 1.8, 1.9 as they come through the infield this time round. It's about, 2 seconds. A little bit slow through the infield was Nagai that time round, but he was 7/10 faster overall. He's already got one of those tenths back, I think, on the exit there. And look at that, Rodriguez coming underneath. No, he's got it sorted there. I think that was Sanchez letting Rodriguez through, who's on an absolute tear. He's up 9 positions already, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. As Nagai now has Rodriguez all over his gearbox coming through the chicane. It's like Rodriguez just, really trying to make his way through. So he's +9 for the race so far. He did that one little naughty no-no bit that we saw, but apart from that, seems like he's running a really solid race here on the back of our number 1 plated car. David Sanchez also sitting back there in 10th now. He's lost a couple from where he started. In fact, he's lost 4 from where he started, Alex. So not a great run here for Xavier, as Nagai getting hounded by Rodriguez here as we start the 8th lap, Alex.
Yeah, I think this is where we see the raciness of Nagai tested, because the aggression of Rodriguez is really going to show through here. And it's going to be how much Nagai is willing to defend versus Sanchez's aggression. I think these next few corners will tell the story here. Through 5 now, you can have a bit of a look through 6 if you game, but it does cost you a lot of time. Now through 7 and through 8 again onto the back straight, all over the tail. There is nothing between these two. It is less than 2 tenths. It's a tenth and a half as they come back on. What's Nagai do here? Is he going to force him up high? He is. The side draft kicks in big time in these cars, particularly on a Roval. I think Nagai, is he going to lift or is he going to battle it? Oh, no, he's going to lift. Smart play from Nagai there. It's about the fastest time flag to flag here, not the position you're in on lap 8 as we reach the halfway point in this one, Corey.
That's right, Alex. I was just having a little squiz at the leaderboard that I got here. The fastest lapper at the moment was set by Loris Amadio down in 12th position, a 29.58, Alex.
29.58, that's blistering around here. You don't see many low 29s. I guess it's come to the biggest race of the week before we start seeing those sorts of times. As the rear of the car behind Amadio there, Kevin Budgeon really sort of kissed the wall. Meanwhile, back up front, it's Soria leading the way. He's got about 4 tenths now on Perez. That's a decent gap, honestly, in this kind of field, which speaks to at least the first sector and a half or 2 sectors being a strength of Soria, I should say. Really pleased to see 2 ANZ drivers in this field, in the front 5 at least. We've got the 2 Spanish conquistadors up front in Soria and Perez. We've got Devantia and McBurney in 3rd and 5th respectively, split by the lone UK and I driver in this front pack, Adam Miles, patiently showing the nose there. We've got a tighter line there by Perez, really discouraging anyone from moving forward in this one. But still, Corey, I don't know, mate. I've done a couple of races here this week, a handful indeed, and 16 laps, given the intensity, you've got that mix of oval intensity and road intensity here. It feels like it's a saga. It takes a long time to get through this one, even though it's really just the same standard old time.
Oh, that's right, Alex. I mean, you got the 2 different types of intensities with this track, as you explained. The oval intensity is something completely different to a road racing intensity as well, because it's all about trying to get that draft and pick and choose where you make your move and how. The one thing, the advantage the skippies have over actual oval racing is you don't have to worry so much about tyre degradation, which is definitely a good thing, because the Skippy tyres last absolutely forever, especially around a track like this, where they get such a long breather on the oval section. And Santavantia actually looking like he's starting to pick up the intensity here on the infield section as he's closing in on the back of Christian Perez, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. It is getting tight up there. I think there'll be some patience that'll prevail myself until the final stages of this one, and then I think it'll really kick off. Someone will light a fuse here with about 3 or 4 to go, and then the fireworks will be on for sure.
Absolutely, Alex, and it's always the last 3 or 4 laps where the intensity really starts to pick up. We see these guys absolutely flying over these turtle curves and trying to look for moves where normal people like you and me probably wouldn't necessarily think that it's a passing opportunity. That's what's so great about us having this strength of field race, is that these guys find new and creative ways to make passes each and every single race. Speaking of making passes, Nick Vaughan Roberts getting around Corey Lean for that 6th position, Alan.
Yeah, but what that's done, can I tell you, look looming in the background. We've got that angry pack coming up behind them. Oh, it's side by side. Lean says, no, mate, I want that position. Side by side, he and Vaughan Roberts. Can I tell you, these are the pair of the raciest drivers I see week to week in Vaughan Roberts and Lean, and they're absolutely oh, look at that, Rodriguez straight into it. The conversations going on, the non-verbal conversations between these two sets of drivers, making 7 in total. Immediate impact from Rodriguez, who started last here tonight, folks. He had a bit of a dodgy one where he passed under the blue line on the oval. But ever since then, it is Rodriguez who's on an absolute tear, up 11 positions from starting last on the grid, Corey. That none better than the one we just saw. And he's straight back into it. Side by side, he goes with Vaughan Roberts. Into the, 3 wide if you don't mind. Lee says, no, I've got one better. He makes it 3 wide briefly. I think Vaughan Roberts actually backed out of that one, and Lean goes through 3 wide into the chicane. Did we ever see that one coming, Corey? You still with me, mate?
Yeah, I'm still with you, and that was an incredible set of circumstances there. I didn't imagine that was going to be a thing, but Corey Lean, one of the most aggressive Oz and Z drivers we have on the roster, and he's showing that exactly why he is deserving of being up here in the top split. And he's definitely going to start trying to hunt down this Adrian Rodriguez bloke that's in front of him. And it's only a little bit of separation between them as they come into the infield section here, but I reckon all the moves that we're going to see here in the last few laps are going to be made on the oval, Alex. It's just a little feeling that I got as I think Corey Lean just lost his front wing, but that might have been a little bit of net code on my part.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of netcode that takes place here. As we see in the background, the sleeping giant of Naoya Nagai, who has, if I'm honest, probably got the best 1-lap pace in this little group. But he's only up the 1 position now. He got up to, he's in 8th, but he's now sitting in 9th, and that's probably at the expense, or come at the expense of Rodriguez going through. He's now up 12 positions, if you don't mind. He's done a 29.8 last lap, which is exactly the same pace as Perez now, who moves into the lead. Takes the lead into the first chicane now, with ahead of his compatriot in Soria. Devantier and Miles and McBurney make up the front 5. Soria not prepared to rest on his laurels. No, he's going a bit high, just to, I think, to defend as much as anything. Oh, no, they are going to have a look. Here we go, side by side. No, look, that is an excellent example of what I talk about in non-verbal conversation there. You see Soria move a bit high on the entry into the braking zone to discourage. Look again, he's going shallow on exit of turn 1, so Devantier doesn't have a look through here. So he goes wide to prevent Devantier looking. Perez covers him. He moves back down underneath, lifts to fit back line astern, and all those things. There are about half a dozen things that happened in the space of about 200 metres on the track in the approach to one of the primary passing opportunities, all of which result in a net nothing in terms of positional changes. But it's absolutely a dialogue going on between the drivers without saying a word, just by where they position their car, Corey. Fascinating stuff.
Absolutely, Alex, and it's all part of the racecraft that these guys have. They've all been around the circuit for long enough that they know each other's little nuances, or the non-verbal communication, as you call it. As Sam Devantier now looks for a move up the inside of Jose Sawyer coming into the bus stop. Didn't quite get the run that he would have wanted, but he's still sticking it in there side by side as they come out of the bus stop now. That's going to be Sam Devantier moving up into P2. Sawyer trying to squeeze his way into 3rd. It's not going to work this time as Adam Miles squeezes through into third position. That's now Sawyer down from second to fourth, Alex, in a space of about 500 meters.
And again, Miles positions the car, showing no room for you to come back at me, mate, as they approach the final chicane. 2 for 1 there. And it's usually a 2 for 1 overtake, but that time it was a 2 for 1 position loss. And Soria gets shuffled back he led so many laps of this race. He was in second comfortably behind his compatriot in Christian Perez. But as you called it, Corey, he got left on the outside. Beautiful. I was watching that. It was beautiful side-by-side action between he and the Cowboy through that first chicane, only to then see Miles get a beautiful run through and follow the Cowboy through underneath Soria into the next one and got it done cleanly as you like. Although he did spend a fair bit of time behind that blue line, or below that blue line, but I think he got it back just in time. Fantastic. And I said about 3 or 4 laps to go, someone had light a fuse under it, and I think the Cowboy, he's got his stick of dynamite ready, and he's ready to let it rip.
I think the Cowboy has enough dynamite on there that he can start his own open cut mine as we come onto the back straight once more. And this time the Cowboy looking to the outside, taking the title line. See Perez got a little bit defensive there. Just about half a skippy length off the wall was where he was at. As everyone's continuing on. Cowboy's probably going to look for a move here coming into the final chicane. As when we get to the start-finish line this time, Alex, we're only going to have 2 laps left to run. And here comes the move from the Cowboy. He's going to use the side drive to try and have the inside run for the first part of the chicane. And here comes Sawyer up the inside as well. The racing intensity absolutely picking up. There's a little bit of contact.
Oh, they're gone, Miles and McBurney. They're both gone on the exit there. Oh, that's tragedy. Let's go back and have a look. Hang on. I'm just going to run this a bit slower. Let's get it going here. McBurney's not the one I want to watch. Where's Sawyer there? Side by side they went. They've done it okay there. Oh, see that big curve. Little bit of a touch there potentially. Another bit of a touch there between Perez, and then mounted the rear. I think it was Miles who just got the better run, and I don't know what McBurney was doing there. I don't know if he didn't have time to react there or not, but that's cost the race. Anyway, let's jump back to live pictures and see what is now front 3. Hopefully a bit more settled, but it's a Spanish sandwich with a Cowboy in the middle, a speedy snail, a bit of escargot mixed in with the local Spanish dish, and oh, they're so close there on exit there. Soria right on the tailpipe of the Cowboy as, oh, look at him go. I can't believe it. Perez left the door open on the inside. He might lose 2 positions here, Corey.
He very well might, Alex, but this could be a part of his master plan. He could be maybe hoping that he gets the draft back coming along the straight again. But what a defense. He actually broke way deeper than the Cowboy that time coming into the final chicane. Maintains the lead as we head into the last lap. And the intensity definitely starting to pick up now. Sam's already lit the fuse on the dynamite, and he's waiting to start mining here, Alex.
Absolutely, as Vaughan Roberts and the guy set identical fastest laps with a 3.84, 29.384, the pair of them, mirror images of each other, equal purple laps. Astonishing, you don't see that too often, but meanwhile, this front 3 is where it's going to be settled, obviously. The podium positions laid before you, folks, laid before you, gentlemen, out there in front. Perez really putting the hammer down. He's out to 3.5 tenths as they come back onto the oval section. Look how close he goes. The Spaniard, Christian Perez, the reigning official season champion, the reigning Sunday Night Lights champion. He has the lead. These 2 behind him, the Cowboy and Jose Soria, they will battle into the final chicane. Will they? No. Soria lifts. He realises that if they battle there, they don't have a chance at the win. The final chicane is where this race will be decided, folks. Here we go into it, Corey.
They come through the final 2 oval corners for the final time. Here comes the Cowboy now looking for the outside run. What is Sawyer going to do? He's going to make it 3 wide on the inside. We're going to be 3 wide coming into the final chicane. Close quarters racing. The Cowboy's got it for now. Oh no, he hit the turtle curb and he's taken out Sawyer. Perez is going to win this race, and the Cowboy is going to go backwards over the start finish line
Find
here.
reverse,
Maybe.
Cowboy. Find reverse, son. Get over the line.
And
Oh, no.
that is a big loss for the Cowboy there, Alex. 10th position, 12th
Oh,
position actually,
no.
as he backs across the line.
Oh, I've never seen anyone finish a race backwards. Now I think I have seen everything. Let's go check that one out on replay. Oh, no, I'll need to go a bit further back, I think, than that one. Here it is here. Hang on. Let's go a bit further back. Please, yeah. So we're coming into the final chicane. Oh, and look, I did not think they were going to get that done there. And let's see what happens here. Cowboy's very tight there and just spews out. Oh, look, as he's gripped up, it's exactly what I was saying about the wrong steering input as the tyres grip up, and that'll flick you around. And that's exactly what looked to happen there. I couldn't see any net code or anything. Very unfortunate, because the racing, can I tell you, between those three had been immaculate. Absolutely immaculate all night, and it just took one small mistake at the pivotal moment, and that was all she wrote. Spectacular race, Corey. Can I tell you, the racing we've seen in the last few weeks by the drivers on display at these races has just been so exciting and a pleasure to broadcast, mate, and it's just been awesome.
Absolutely, Alex. And these guys really stepping up in the intensity for this whole race. And, the racing, as you said, has been absolutely spectacular this whole time. And these guys just really... I'm glad that we come here and watch this every single week, because these guys have absolutely put on a show every single week. And we're so lucky that we get to see this all the time. And, Rodriguez started dead last, Alex, up 16 positions from where he started.
He finished second. Holy cow. Let's start, speaking of where people have finished, let's check out the race results. Christian Perez for Astro Racing Team getting some pumped responses in the chat here tonight. He's taken it out. Smart drive from Christian, a lot of pace, cool head prevailed in the end. A little bit of luck not to get caught up at the end there as well. But, you make your own luck to a large extent, and Perez certainly did that well tonight. Congratulations to him. Adrian Rodriguez, and someone said in the chat there, up 16 positions. You said it as well, Corey. He started last, he's finished second, and he absolutely drove the wheels off the thing. Again, bit of luck with two falling away at the end there. In fact, four of that front pack four out of the five who drove so well all night fell away at the end in the last few laps, leaving Adrian Rodriguez, who, they talk about... what's the Australian Olympic skater's name? Corey, help me out.
Stephen
Bradbury. Yeah. They talk about Bradbury, coming through and taking the chocolates at the end of the race and how lucky he was. But he had to be in the final. He was in the Olympic final. Adrian Rodriguez, he was in there. He started last and he's come all the way through. A few have fallen away in front of him, but he still got up 16 positions to finish second. Congratulations to him. Nick Vaughan Roberts won last week. This week sits on the podium again for Two Fools Racing in third. Corey Lean ends up being the leading ANZ driver here tonight, finishing in fourth, just ahead of Xavier Sanchez. Similarly, he started better than I thought, actually. He's only out one position to finish fifth. Now Nagai, after all that, rises 4 positions. In fact, it was only those 4 positions of those drivers from the front pack who fell out that he rose, but he still finishes 6th and gets some good points. Ori Racing Team's Jose Soria, we welcomed him back with some spectacular racing. That final chicane cost him, though, and he's finished 7th at the end of the night. Laura Samadia for Wave Italy Racing Team, he's finished in 8th. Kevin Budgen for Nippy Racing, finishes in 9th. Brett McBurney for McFlabby Racing only manages to hold on to 10th position, just ahead of Hikaru Sasaki from Japan in 11th. Sam Devanti, the Cowboy, first person I've ever seen finish an SNL race backwards. The Speedy Snails driver finishes inside the points in 12th. Giuseppe Tellini, the other Wave Italy Racing Team driver here tonight, he finishes in 13th. Vasco Sorosky, we didn't see anything much of Vasco here tonight for Team Clowns. He's finished in 14th, just ahead of Hiroyuki Shorter for Nagai Racing School in 15th. 16th tonight was Adam Miles for Miles Ahead Racing. He was right up the front until he wasn't, unfortunately. He finished 18 seconds off the lead in 16th, just ahead of Shinichi Otsu from Japan. In 17th, 18th tonight, snuck in 18th, finished in 18th, was the ANZ driver of Neil Gardner. Corey, mate, I love that one. I really enjoyed that. I know it didn't end well for many, but it was certainly a good night out at the races.
Oh, absolutely, Alex, and leave it to one of the Roval tracks that we have on offer for us to have some really, really close, intense racing the whole way through. It just goes to show that sometimes the Americans who like to turn left know what they're doing when they want to turn right as well. And such intense racing all throughout, and what an incredible finish! Congratulations again once more to Rodriguez. Plus 16. It's an incredible effort. It's something that I would normally do in like a bottom split race, but props to him because he's done it in the top strength of field race of the week, and it's definitely an incredible effort.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Now, we've got one gentleman in here for an interview after the race. One Speedy Snails driver, the cowboy himself, Sam Devantier. Mate, you were in it there right up into the end. Talk us through the final chicane.
Well, first of all, I got to apologise to Christian because would have been I can't remember what lap it was, but I made I went for the move and I think I squeezed him too much and I made car contact with him, so I redressed the spot. So that's why I pulled back behind, and then the chicane. I think I compromised my line and I took too much curb bounce into Jose. And yeah, it is what it is. It was a good race, but points as well. But
Yeah, mate, it was tight there. I wondered if it was either I called it as the steering input on the as the suspension sort of compressed and it gripped up, but it could have just as easily been the angle on the car itself, mate. But yeah, that narrow entry and the extra curbing on the first part of that final chicane then costs you the shift in the shift of direction on the second part, mate. Could I tell you, I can only compliment you, the front three in particular for putting on a spectacular show. It looked like it was fun at least while it lasted, mate.
yeah, that's the whole point. Honestly, we turn out every week and put on a good show for everyone in the audience. So that's what we do. So
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well, congratulations. I know, and congratulations as well. First drive I've ever seen in 27 seasons finish a race backwards and still finish in the points. So, well, looked like it took you a while to find a reverse, though.
it did. I kept trying to shift, and yeah, I realized I just stopped the car and go backwards. But it is what it is. I still got points, but yeah, apologies to Jose. Good job to Christian, Adrian, the 1-2 for their team, so that's good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Congrats, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, mate. Well, congratulations. I know the race didn't go the way you finished, but you certainly put on a fantastic show. So, but before we let you go, mate, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
You guys, the broadcast, my team, Speedy Snails, and yeah, that's about it.
Beautiful. All right, mate. Thanks to you, and hopefully we'll see you in a week or so if you can back it up next week at Road America.
Oh, we'll try. We won there last time, so I'll try.
Get in there, mate. We look forward to talking to you then. Ciao, mate.
Yep, ciao.
There you go, folks. That was the cowboy. He didn't quite get it over the line tonight, but he did a fantastic job and he put on a fantastic show. And he is wanted, of course. There you go. I just had to play that for him. I had to get it in there. He's wanted dead or alive. Well done, cowboy. It is a steel horse he rides, and he gets the job done more often than not, Corey.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Alex, and he's definitely there's a reason why he's the two car, and he's been putting in the time, he's been putting in the effort each and every single week, and Oz and Z Club has been better off for it because he's really been putting Skippy Racing on the map for us over here in Oz and Z land, and he's going to continue to go up and up as he goes along in his iRacing career, and I can't wait to see where he ends up honestly because it's exciting stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Just having a bit of fun with him in the background. I know you can't hear it, but nah, absolutely, mate. 7K now too, although he might dip under it after that one. He's had the farmer's hat on this week as he does when he likes a track, and but certainly he's earned the pace to be up there with some of the best in the world and competing right to the end. So congratulations to him. But Oh, he's still 7K, he tells me. There you go. Beautiful. All right. That might do us for this week, folks. It was a fantastic race. Congratulations again to Christian Perez, who showed once again after he had two dud races leading into this one, if I'm honest. He crashed out in the two races that lead into this one, but he hung on in the big one to take out what was just under a tick under a 5,400 strength of field. So well done to Christian Perez for Astro Racing Team. Corey, tell the folks at home what you got coming up this week.
So on Wednesday, over on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel, twitch.tv/Aussie_Sim_commentator, the Output Racing League is heading to the Talladega Super Speedway for the Truck Racing Series, and it's always going to be a wild card to who's going to win and what kind of action is going to occur throughout the race, and that'll be Wednesday at 11:20 a.m. Western Australian Time, GMT +8, and I don't have much planned for my personal channel. We might try and get on stream a couple times just for some randomness. And then it's back here next week with you when we go and tackle Road America, Alex.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. A great deal, both racing personally and then, of course, for the big one. I reckon the draft there will play a bit more of a part. Doesn't necessarily guarantee you an overtake, but certainly makes life more exciting. Everything Top Split is on your screen at the moment, folks. Join us in the Discord where we do the broadcast and the post-race interviews from the Top Split YouTube is where you will find each and every replay of Monday and Sunday Night Lights, all 26 and a half seasons. And of course, Top Split TV is where we are each and every Sunday night, bringing you the best Skippy action around. Unquestionably, we've got the strongest strength of fields in Skip Barber racing history, and you see this kind of racing week in, week out by some of the best in the world. But until next time, folks, I'm Alex McKellar, and on behalf of the chaotic one himself, Corey Steinhauser, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the support from the community week in and week out. And until next time, I will say ciao for now.